Vector calculus. In vector algebra, we dealt with constant vectors, means vectors which are constant in magnitude and fixed in direction. But in vector calculus, we see R is a function of x, y, z. Position vector is a function of time. X, y, z again a function of time. So ultimately R becomes a function of t. So here we are getting R is a vector valued function which is a function of a scalar variable t. So a vector valued function, it produces a vector which is a function of a scalar variable t. Next, scalar point function and vector point function. A physical quantity that is a function of the position of a point in space is called a scalar point function or a vector point function according as the quantity is a scalar or a vector. For example, temperature at any point in space is an example of scalar point function, and velocity of a moving particle is the example of vector point function. Scalar and vector field. When a point function is defined at every point of a certain region of space, then that region is called a field. And the field is called a scalar field or a vector field according as the point function is a scalar point function or a vector point function. Next, the vector differential operator del. It is pronounced to be del and notation is like this. It is defined to be del equivalent to del del x I cap plus del del y j cap plus del del z k cap. In short, summation I del del x or summation del del x I. This vector operator possesses properties analogous to those of ordinary vectors. It is useful in defining three quantities, namely the gradient, the divergence, and the curl. The gradient. Let phi x, y, z is defined and a differentiable at each point x, y, z in a certain region of space. That is, phi defines a differentiable scalar field. Then the gradient of phi, written as grad phi or del phi, and is defined by grad phi equal to del del x I cap plus del del y j cap plus del del z k cap of phi, means summation del phi del x I cap. It is to be noted that phi is here a differentiable scalar field. Phi is a differentiable scalar field, where del, the operator, is the vector differential operator, and together del phi produces a vector field. So this is a scalar field, this is a vector differential operator, and combining these two del phi, it produces a vector field. Now few results. Del of phi plus psi equal to del phi plus del psi. Del of phi psi equal to phi del psi plus psi del phi, where phi and psi are differentiable scalar point functions. Next, d phi ds. Suppose phi is any scalar point function, then we can write d phi ds in terms of del phi del x dx ds plus del phi del y dy ds plus del phi del z dz ds, which can be expressed as a dot product. This dot this ultimately del phi dot dr ds, which denotes the component of del phi in the direction of dr ds, the component of del phi in the direction of dr ds. We know dr ds is a tangential unit vector, so component of del phi in the direction of dr ds is nothing but it is mod del phi, that is magnitude of del phi. This projection or component will be maximum when del phi and dr ds will have the same direction. As we know, a dot b is equal to mod a mod b cos theta. So maximum value of cos theta is 1 for theta equal to 0. So this projection will be a maximum when del phi and dr ds will have the same direction. Thus, the maximum value of d phi ds will be in the direction of grad phi, and its maximum value is mod grad phi. Now let us define directional derivative of a scalar point function phi in terms of del phi. The component of del phi in the direction of a unit vector a cap given by del phi dot a cap and is called the directional derivative of phi in the direction of a cap. Physically, it signifies the rate of change of phi at xyz in the direction of a cap. Definition of directional derivative. We have already defined directional derivative is nothing but the component of grad phi in the direction of a unit vector, that is grad phi dot a cap. So grad phi dot a cap is the directional derivative of phi in the direction of a cap. But here we are defining directional derivative of a scalar point function phi in a different way. Suppose P and Q are two neighboring points with position vectors r and r plus delta r. So with reference to the origin, we have vector OP equal to r and vector OQ is equal to r plus delta r. So vector PQ equal to delta r. And let phi and phi plus delta phi be the values of scalar point function phi at the point P and Q respectively. Now d phi dr is nothing but limit delta r tending to 0 of delta phi by delta r, and this d phi dr is called the directional derivative of phi in the direction of OP or in the direction of r, in the direction of OP or in the direction of r. And this d phi dr gives the rate of change of phi with respect to the distance measured in the direction of r. Now two things to be noted. What del phi is. We have already discussed phi is a scalar field and del is a vector differential operator, but together del phi gives a vector field, or rather a vector. So if it is a vector, it must have some magnitude and direction. What is the magnitude and direction? The magnitude of del phi is nothing but mod del phi, which is the maximum value of directional derivative. And what is its direction? Its direction is along grad phi. And the direction is also same as that of the outward drawn normal to the surface phi is equal to C. This part, point number 2, you have to show. And point 1 is already discussed. The physical significance of gradient. The gradient is a vector operation which operates on a scalar function phi to produce a vector grad phi whose magnitude is the maximum rate of change of the function at the point of the gradient, means whose maximum value is mod grad phi, that is the maximum value of directional derivative, and whose direction is along grad phi, maximum rate of change. So direction is along mod grad phi and magnitude is mod grad phi, which gives the maximum value of directional derivative. Problem number 1. The question is, find the directional derivative of phi equal to x square yz plus 4xz square at p 1 minus 2 minus 1. That is maximum, first part, and second part same in the direction of pq, where q is equal to 3 minus 3 2. The magnitude of grad phi at the point P is the greatest directional derivative of phi at P. So first find out grad phi at the point P. Del phi del x I cap plus del phi del y j cap plus del phi del j k cap at 1 minus 2 1, which gives 8i minus j minus 10k. So the maximum directional derivative of phi at 1 minus 2 minus 1 will be equal to square root of 64 plus 1 plus 100, that is square root of 165 units. Second part, directional derivative of phi in the direction of PQ, which is equal to component or projection of grad phi along PQ, which is equal to grad phi dot PQ by mod PQ, where P equals to 1 minus 2 minus 1 and Q is equal to 3 minus 3 minus 2. So in this way we find out PQ, which becomes 2 minus 1 minus 1, and mod PQ root over of 4 plus 1 plus 1. So 27 by root 6 units. Problem number 2. Find the directional derivative of the function phi equal to xy square plus yz square at 2 minus 1 1 in the direction of the normal to the surface x log z minus y square plus 4 equal to 0 at minus 1 2 1. We first let psi xyz is equal to c be the equation of surface x log z minus y square plus 4 equal to 0. So we have psi xyz equal to x log z minus y square and c equal to minus 4. First we find out the direction of normal to the surface, which is equal to del psi. So del psi at minus 1 to 1, it gives minus 4j minus k equal to b, vector b say, and grad phi at 2 minus 1 1 equal to I minus 3j minus 3k. Therefore, the directional derivative of phi in the direction of del psi, that is b, equal to del phi dot p divided by mod b. So putting del phi and b, we got 15 by root 17 units. Problem number 3. Find del phi when phi is equal to log mod r. First, r equal to xi plus yj plus zk. In terms of summation xi, which is the position vector of a point. Therefore, mod r is equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square, and thereby log mod r equal to half log x square plus y square plus z square. So del phi equal to del of log mod r equal to half of I del x. One log should be there, log and log. So del x of log x square plus y square plus z square, partial derivative with respect to x, it will be 1 by x square plus y square plus z square into twice x. We are taking only first component and putting a summation sign at the beginning. Similarly for other two terms. So the 2 will get cancelled from these two, and we have only x in the numerator, means xi, and similarly for other two terms yi, yj and zk. So xi plus yj plus zk in the numerator, and in the denominator x square plus y square plus z square. So the final answer is vector r by mod r square. Second part, when phi equal to 1 by mod r, we have already derived mod r equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So 1 by mod r equal to x square plus y square plus z square to the power minus half. So del phi means del of x square plus y square plus z square to the power minus half. So summation I del x of same quantity, partial derivative with respect to x, taking only the first term and putting a summation sign at the beginning. We have, after differentiating with respect to x, minus half x square plus y square plus z square to the power minus 3 by 2 into twice x. Similarly here also 2 will get cancelled, and we have for the first part x square plus y square plus z square to the power 3 by 2 in the denominator, and in the numerator we have only xi, and one minus is there. So for the first term xi, for the second term yj, and for the third term zk, and x square plus y square plus z square whole to the power 3 by 2, it will be for all the terms, and minus sign will be for all the terms. So ultimately we have minus of xi plus yj plus zk divided by x square plus y square plus z square whole to the power 3 by 2. So the answer is minus r vector r divided by mod r whole cube, as mod r equal to square root of x square plus y square plus z square. So x square plus y square plus z square whole to the power 3 by 2 means mod r whole cube. So that grad of mod r whole to the power n equal to n mod r whole to the power n minus 2 of r. This you have to do yourself. Now few things we note. Del phi should never be written as phi del. Number 2, it can be easily proved that del of C1 phi 1 plus minus C2 phi 2 equal to C1 del phi 1 plus minus C2 del phi 2, where C1 and C2 are constants, phi 1 and phi 2 are scalar point functions. Number 3, del of phi by psi, where phi and psi are scalar point functions, equal to psi del phi minus phi del psi by psi square, psi not equal to 0. And lastly, if v equal to fu function of u, then del v equal to f dash u del u. Problem 4. Find phi, the scalar point function, if del phi equal to y square minus 2xy zq I cap plus 3 plus 2xy minus x square zq j cap plus 6zq minus 3x square yz square k cap. We know del phi equal to del phi del x I cap plus del phi del y j cap plus del phi del z k cap. Comparing this result with the expression given in the problem, we get del phi del x equal to y square minus 2xyzq, del phi del y equal to 3 plus 2xy minus x square zq, and del phi del z equal to 6zq minus 3x square yz square. Now integrating one by one partially, first del phi del x, integrating it partially with respect to x, we have phi equal to x y square minus x square yzq plus something which is independent of x, that is which is a function of y and z. Let it be f1 of yz. Similarly, integrating the second term partially with respect to y, we have phi equal to 3y plus xy square minus x square yzq plus f2 some function of z and x, that is which is independent of y. Similarly, for the third term, that is from del phi del z, we have phi equal to 3 by 2 z to the power 4 minus x square yzq plus some function f3 of x and y, integrating partially with respect to z. These give only particular forms of phi. The general form of phi is obtained as follows. Here, the terms which do not repeat in the right hand side of these three should necessarily be included in the final value of phi, which is 3y plus 3 by 2 z to the power 4. Next, the terms which repeat should be included only once in the final value of phi, which here is xy square minus x square yzq. And the last terms of all the three phi, we have, it indicates that there is a term, there should be a term of phi which is independent of all x, y and z, that is which is a constant. We consider that as C. So the final value of phi, the scalar point function, is phi equal to 3y plus 3 by 2z to the power 4 plus xy square minus x square yzq plus c.